here today with my friend Todd Coleman, who is the CEO and creative director of ArtCraft Entertainment, a video game company. So we're just going to chat a little bit about Todd and how he got started, and he'll tell us a little bit about the new biz. How's it going, Todd?
It's going fine. Yeah. How are you?
Great, thank you. So tell me how you got interested in video games. Was it when you were a kid? Or?
Yeah, that's when I was a kid. I mean, that's pretty normal. I mean, now, right? Like all kids are into video games now. When I was young, it was a little bit more geeky and nerdy, right? I was, I started like everybody else with like the Nintendo style, little Atari style systems, but eventually got my own PC. My parents bought me a computer, and I moved pretty quickly from playing the games to wanting to figure out how they were made. So I made a whole bunch of games in BASIC that were all fairly terrible. But you have to get through all the terrible ones to get to the good ones to learn. So that's how it started.
Interesting. I remember trying to do things in BASIC and failed.
Yeah, I've never been a good programmer.
Yeah?
No, I need to stay away from programming. I do have a computer science minor from college, but I'm not just enough to be dangerous. So my current engineers won't let me touch a line of code.
Sounds like it's for the best.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is not the first company you've started.
This is the fourth company.
And what drives you to keep creating your own companies?
I'd make a terrible employee. I think it's as simple as that. Nobody wants to hire me. No, when I got out of school, I had a normal job for 1 year. Like I took a job with a software consulting company, and literally I quit on the 1 year anniversary of the day that I started. And
you gave yourself a year to see if you could do it?
No, well, I needed a job, right? So getting out of school, I went and got a job. But the whole time I was there, I was constantly thinking that I didn't like being at the bottom of the organization. I wanted to be at the top, and they don't really offer you that right out of school. That's not really a thing.
Surprising.
But if you create your own company, there's no one to actually tell you no. It's just not a thing, right? So if you just start, then you get to determine the org chart, and you can insert yourself at the top. So that's what I did.
It's brilliant. Straight to the top.
That's exactly. And so my first company, the top of the pyramid was one person, and that was in fact the entirety of the pyramid. It started with just me. And then, that's how you start. I mean, it's always the way you start. Or if you can find a partner, you start with a partner. So actually my college roommate and I have been involved in every company that I've ever started. He's been a part of it, and actually that only became true in the last 3 weeks because he just jumped ship at our last company and came to work with me again at this new one. So
that's exciting.
I was 3 for 4. Now I'm 4 for 4 again.
There you go. And what does he do in the company that creates that working environment for you guys?
In college we were always like building computers in our dorm room because we needed the money, and so
like
that's
Bill
how
Gates and whatnot.
Yeah, well, we would go to the flea market and buy really crappy pieces of equipment. So if you can find a batch of broken things, computer equipment, like here's 10 hard drives of the same exact model that are all broken, they're not broken like the whole thing is broken, right? You've got like the hard drive drum and the contactor card and the power adapter. Like those are 3 major parts. So if one of them is broken, the next one that's broken is probably not broken in the same way. So if you take the drum out of this one and the cable out of this one and the card out of this one, you put them together, you try it. And if it's broken, then you throw it away. And you keep mixing and matching the parts until eventually you end up with a working hard drive that you bought for nothing because it was broken. And if you do that enough, you could put together a PC and sell it for like $400, $500, something like that, which was a giant amount of money back in college. So that's what we did instead of in addition to having jobs, we also had jobs, but that was our kind of side project. And so the two of us, we just, he's more technical than I am. Like he was a computer science major, I was a business major, computer science minor, but we both, we just shared common interest and got along real well. And then when I got out of that first job, basically he helped me program the idea behind my first company that I went and got funding for and started the whole entrepreneurial thing.
That's really cool. So what do you think are your biggest successes out of like building your own
so let's see. So I'm on the fourth fourth company. The first company was acquired by a company called CompuWare out of Detroit. It was okay. I mean, it was not like a giant, oh my God, everybody's rich kind of acquisition, but you know, it did well for everybody, and the investors made a little money. My second company then, after that one, we decided to put our money into a game company because that sounded fun, right? And
They always sound fun.
sounds fun. It's a lot of work. So that one got bought by Ubisoft Entertainment, but it was the bumpiest acquisition by far. Like the game, when it finally came out, was riddled with bugs, and that's a problem, right? The third one is by far the most successful, and that's King's Isle, right? And that Wizard 101 is also the most popular game that Joseph and I have made by a long stretch. I think we were at 50 million players when I left.
Still kicking.
Yeah, and it's still going great. So it's still doing really, really well. We followed up that one with Pirate, which was Pirate 101, which was a sequel. And then I left that company to go start ArtCraft. So of them, the third company is ironically the only one that has not been acquired. But it is by far the biggest win, right? So so anyway, it's kind of a it's an interesting path. And so this new one, I basically just started over again. And Joseph, my roommate, didn't come with me to this one initially, so I partnered with a guy named Gordon Walton here in town who has run some really, really big game projects like Star Wars The Old Republic and stuff like that. Like giant, I don't know, $100, $200 million projects in the past.
Wow.
So really, really big projects. So he and I got together and started this new company. And then as of about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Joseph came and joined us too.
That's awesome. What about plans for the future?
Well, we've got a game in production that's pretty big at this point. We've got 46, I think, full-time people, and we've just hired. We've got a few more that have been given offers and just haven't started yet. So I think that'll put us at about 50.
Oh wow!
That game, we need to get it out and make it successful. Okay. So Joseph came over to run a new division for us. So basically, we've raised all in for the current game around $20 million. Probably half of that has been spent on the technology, making the technology really cool. So what we're doing now is we're splintering off a new division of our company to just go license that technology to other companies. Because if I've got $10 million of game technology built up and you have a $20 million project, then you can come and, for a couple $1 million to us, you can license it and you get the benefit of $10 million worth of tech. And that's my son with a monkey on his head.
Hey, Johnny.
You get the benefit of that technology, and also you cut 3 or 4 years off your schedule. So
That's a really great idea.
yeah, so I think it should work out really, really well for us.
Yeah.
We've already signed our first client, so we'll announce that later. So that's a really cool way to kind of take what we've got right now, which is a company that so far has been pretty successful, and kind of it's a double down, right? We split it into 2 different bets now and have both of them march forward. So that should be pretty cool.
That's really neat. That's a great way to expand in a different way. And you kind of mentioned fundraising a little bit. It seems like you're very good at crowdfunding.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
Yeah.
It's a skill I didn't really know that I had.
Yeah.
So so we started the company originally. Gordon and I put in some of our own money, and then we did kind of an early friends and family round, and then took some strategic money, and then did the crowdfunding, right? So we raised almost $2 million.
Wow.
I think crowdfunding. Is he still wearing that monkey on his head in the background?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then, so it's just been ever since then, we've gone through a series of fundraising rounds and continued raising money by basically selling the product before it's done. So we're up to, I think, just about $5 million now in pre-orders, effectively, and people ordering the product before it's done because they like the idea of the game and they want to see it get made. So pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, I wish I had that ability. Fundraising.
Yeah. Well, it's a desperation. You find skills that you didn't know you had, right? And so when you've got a big team and a big project, you kind of, all right, well, we got to keep people paid. So how are we going to do that? So, and we've also, we've signed some foreign partners, some territory rights. Like we have a partner for Western Europe, Travian Games. And so they came in and licensed the game for Europe, and we'll partner with them there. And they'll do like localized marketing and localize the game, billing, all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. It's a lot of fun.
It's really neat. So it's a good thing you got that business degree.
I guess. I don't know. Computer science is a great skill, right? And I totally see the value in that. The business stuff was kind of hit and miss, in my opinion. Like, I look back now and the marketing classes specifically, I'm like, I don't know how much of that was actually very helpful. And I was terrible at accounting and finances. That was not my area. So mostly it's learning by making mistakes and making different mistakes in the future, not making the same mistakes again and again and again. Eventually you do it enough times.
Right.
And it's got to work at some point, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Todd. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for coming by and having a cookie.
Yeah.
There's cookies.